1,000 cuts won't awaken people. Xiefeng. December 24, 2024. The idea that people cannot be awakened by words but only through society's brutal beatings is widespread online. Some claim that 1% of people awaken through the guidance of enlightened individuals, while the other 99% must endure the 1,000 cuts of harsh reality before they can wake up. I want to say this: relying on beatings and 1,000 cuts doesn't awaken people, it drives them into decline, decadence, or even savagery and cruelty. Our grandfathers were beaten and subjected to 1,000 cuts, their grandfathers experienced the same. So why would people today awaken from such treatment? Our parents' marriages were unhappy, filled with quarrels. Our grandparents' marriages were equally unhappy and quarrelsome. Their grandparents' marriages were no different. Does this mean people today have awakened to the problems of marriage? If it weren't for urbanization, the proliferation of the internet, and the rising costs of living forcing people to reconsider, most would still step into marriage as before. Who has truly awakened? Many live in constant pain and worry every day. They reach the age of 50, 60, 70, or even 80, yet they remain trapped in their pain and worries. Have these hardships awakened them? Not at all. A daughter-in-law endures hardship until she becomes a mother-in-law. But once she becomes a mother-in-law, does she spare her own daughter-in-law? No, she perpetuates the same torment her mother-in-law inflicted upon her. How many daughters-in-law and mothers-in-law have truly awakened? What is the result of society's beatings and 1,000 cuts? Every day, tens of thousands of people commit suicide. Is this their so-called awakening? Generation after generation has been subjected to beatings and 1,000 cuts, and this has already broken their spines. Even if someone manages to awaken, their backbone is gone. What can they possibly achieve? How can they contribute positively to society? Even in the exceedingly rare cases where someone awakens through beatings and 1,000 cuts and chooses to resist, such individuals, once they seize power, often turn around and inflict the same beatings and cuts upon others. It is rare for them to become compassionate Buddhas or Bodhisattvas. The reality is this: those who can awaken through the guidance of enlightened individuals are exceedingly few. Those who can awaken through beatings and 1,000 cuts are even fewer. This is a historical lesson humanity has learned over thousands of years. So, where does the path to awakening lie? The path lies in the new production and life model established by Lifechanyuan's second home. In other words, the nature of human character depends on the system in which it operates, just as the way a program functions depends on its coding. Without entering a new program, how can one awaken? Could people 100 years ago have conceived of a smartphone? Could a heavenly paradise be realized without entering a heavenly lifestyle? Let's stop relying on beatings and 1,000 cuts to awaken people. That road is a dead end. Instead, let people live joyfully, freely, and happily every day. That is the best path to awakening. Reflections on Poverty. Xiefeng. December 22, 2024. During the era of Mao Zedong, I held the position of a local ruler for 3 years. Many scenes from that time remain vivid in my memory. Back then, all households were equally poor, yet some families seemed to live more comfortably than others. These relatively well-off families shared one common trait: they often invited me to their homes for meals, treating me with fine food and warm hospitality. In contrast, the poorest households shared a different common trait: they never invited me over for a meal. From this, I observed a pattern: families more willing to give were generally wealthier, while those who were miserly and stingy tended to remain poor. When I first started my business, I didn't have much money. However, I still hired someone to help with household chores. As my financial situation improved slightly, I hired 2 people, a woman to handle cleaning and laundry, and a man to take care of the lawn, flowers, pool, and vehicles. From this experience, I discovered a small secret: the more people I hired, the more money I made. Conversely, those who tried to do everything themselves without hiring help rarely became wealthy. Let's consider this scenario: you have only 31 yuan and need to travel 30 kilometers to handle some business. If you walk, you'll still have 31 yuan upon arrival, but it will take 6 hours. If you take a bus, the fare is 30 yuan, leaving you with just 1 yuan but saving 5.5 hours. Which would you choose, walking or taking the bus? Those who choose to walk will likely remain poor. Those who choose to take the bus are more likely to become wealthy. Would you rather spend 20 yuan to order takeout or 10 yuan to buy groceries and cook at home, saving 10 yuan? Those who opt for takeout have a higher chance of becoming rich, while those who cook to save money are more likely to remain poor. Would you spend 2,000 yuan on a washing machine and dryer, or would you prefer to hand wash and air dry your clothes to save 2,000 yuan? Those who buy a washing machine and dryer are more likely to become wealthy, while those who rely on manual labor are more likely to remain poor. If you have 100,000 yuan, should you save it in a bank or spend it? Those who save their money in the bank will inevitably move toward poverty. Those who spend it are more likely to become wealthy. If you can solve a problem in 3 minutes by spending 20 yuan but instead spend 2 hours to save that 20 yuan, this mindset will undoubtedly lead to poverty. The Chinese character for poverty is a combination of cave and force. Symbolically, it represents a force trapped in a cave, endlessly struggling but unable to break free. This is poverty. It can further be extended to mean a person confined within their own home, endlessly toiling, and thus remaining poor. From this, it becomes clear, those who focus solely on internal struggles and exclude external opportunities are destined to remain poor. This applies not only to individuals but also to families, villages, cities, regions, and even nations. A mindset fixated inward leads to poverty, while a mindset oriented outward leads to wealth. Poverty or wealth is not determined by one's birth, physical strength, knowledge, or environment. It is determined by one's way of thinking.